Colossus at this point to try and deal with those Zerglings. Nice play by him, and you know, with a very Zergling heavy force like this from Nexlife, Colossus definitely the right decision as long as you can keep them behind some tier 1 units. And with those 8 gates that Huck has, which is just obscene, he's going to be, you know, more than have more than enough tier 1 units in front of those Colossus to deal with anything Nexlife has. But you see this Overlord getting destroyed by these Stalkers at the same time, maybe trying to warp in a Nidus Canal, but there is no Nidus network at this point for Nexlife. Nexlife has played it very straight at this point, where Huck has been very creative and, you know, free with his sort of game plan with these warp gates. You see just now it's why that count's going up actually, which is a little bit interesting. I would have personally used one sooner to try and get blink and charge for these tier 1 units earlier. If you're going to go 8 gate, you might as well go all the way 8 gate, but it looks like Huck wasn't willing to fully sort of get his whole game plan based around that, and it's a good play because he's now got you know, Observer on the field that's doing a lot of good scouting. Actually, it saw that last attack of Nexlife's coming, and now it should see this. And now you see there are mutes coming out of that spire that I mentioned earlier from Nexlife, trying to find a way to harass, but there are a ton of cannons around here. This main is fairly open, and the natural is fairly open, but it's going to be difficult to get in there. See a second robotics facility coming up now as well for Huck, so it looks like he's going to fully get into Colossus at this point. You see there's Chrono boosting out 2 of them at this point. See some photon cannons coming down. He did see those mutas, and so he's going to provide himself a little bit of defense, which is always a good play to have those photon cannons back there as a Protoss player in case there's, you know, DT drops or any sort of ghost drops trying to drop nukes on you. Always a good play to have a couple of photon cannons back there. But a lot of the action really from Nexlife has been offensive, and he's been trying to hit this third. Now let's see if he changes it up here. Maybe trying to go for the natural this time. It looks like he's trying to bypass this, but he's going to be in a position if he does this where he's going to get pincered. So let's see if that happens. There are, oh wow, nice Colossus back here behind this choke with the thermal lance. It's going to absolutely, and wow, look at these 2 Colossus. Great force fields, but great infested Terran eggs just shooting over the side, over those force fields. But Nexlife has to get these Zerglings out of here. That extended thermal lance Colossus tech is absolutely railing through. Look how many are getting. He's Huck is getting per sweep here. He's getting like 6 or 7 per lance here, and wow, those Zerglings are getting absolutely destroyed, and exactly what we feared might happen for Nexlife has happened. He got pincered there, and it was a great job using that choke with the thermal lance on top of it by Huck to get a ton of units for free there. Nexlife really beat back really hard there, and this is, I don't know if this is going to be the nail in his coffin at this point, but it was a huge mistake by him to move in there, and Huck with a great defensive positioning there. Nice fungal growth though by these infestors, getting a couple of those stalkers, but those Zerglings are going to be made really ineffective by these Colossus and those thermal lances. You see Nexlife bringing these overlords out, trying to provide cover for these infestors. Always a good play when you're down units so that your opponent can't click stuff that he wants to click. There are corruptors out here. They are doing a ton of damage to these Colossus, but these blink stalkers are out here, and they're going to mop these up. Now, Nexlife has to be careful. He has brought all of these overlords out to the middle of the map to cover his units, and he's going to lose a ton. If he loses too many, he's going to get supply capped, and it looks like he's going to get supply capped here, so he's going to have to make more overlords quickly, because Huck definitely has the army event. Take a look at the army tab, and it's actually pretty close, but the Zerglings that are making up a large part of Nexlife's army are not really that useful for him at this point with those Colossus out. And, you know, just going back really quickly, there was Colossus back here in that last exchange, and I like that for a couple of reasons. They were very difficult to get back there. Those mineral fields provide really good defense for a Colossus because those Zerglings can't surround them. So if you get a Colossus back there and you put a sentry up here and you just force field here, that thermal lance is going to absolutely rail any sort of Zerglings that try and run in there, and a Colossus can literally take down like 10-20 Zerglings with just a sentry and a Colossus. Now you see Huck moving back in for the offensive for pretty much the first time this map. You see him taking down what is now the 4th of Nexlife. Nexlife, take a look at the income tab. He is actually up a bunch of harvesters now, 87 over 70. He's got to make sure he doesn't over harvest though, and when you're down like this in terms of army comp, you have to really sort of weigh your options in terms of, do I go for another expansion, try and out macro, or is it time to move into a little bit more army comp? Now you see he's got a couple of corruptors. He is getting a greater spire, so it looks like he's going to be moving into broodlords actually, which is very smart. Now those broodlords, as long as they're very slow, so if you keep them at a distance and sort of give them good protection, whether it's, you know, Zerglings, mutas, he's got a lot of other units down here. Not too many Zerglings though. If he can provide those with good protection, those are going to mop up those stalkers. If those blink stalkers can't get to those broodlings or those broodlords in time, it's gonna be a really nice move by Nexlife, but we'll have to see. Those blink stalkers are very effective. Now you move them out on this hatchery again, and it's interesting that it's canceled by Nexlife. Good play. These Zerglings moving in actually around this force of Hucks. And where are they? It looks like they're going right past everything. Maybe trying to get one of these Colossus, and that's not going to happen. Once again, using this mineral line very effectively is Huck. Just using the assimilator, using that second warp gate. He could have force sealed that off. He actually didn't, which was interesting. Now you see, meanwhile, these Zerglings have gotten actually into the main, and I don't know how much damage they've actually done. Looks like they got at least one pylon. Looks like they might get this warp gate, but it has been cleaned up at this point by Huck. Huck getting pretty close to being capped with that, actually. So it was a good play by Nexlife, doing a lot of things at once. Now he's going for this hatchery a third time, and sure enough, here is Huck. He's just going to take that. Thank you very much. And this time it looks like it wasn't canceled. So free minerals for Huck, and not a very good play by Nexlife. He's got to find another place to expand. Maybe down here it looks a little bit safer. A lot of the action has been running through the middle at this point, so if you can build your expansions further away from him, much easier. And he's having trouble defending this middle, but these Broodlords are up now, so let's see how big of a role they play at this point. There aren't many Zerglings down here. The ground force is actually pretty weak from Nexlife. He's only got 4 infestors. It's going to be very difficult, but these Broodlords, wow, look at them just tear through these Zealots in the right corner. Nice fungal growth from these infestors, getting a lot of those Zealots down. These Broodlords just raping these Zealots. But as I mentioned, look at these blink stalkers getting right up under. The ground force is gone. There is no more protection for these Broodlords. They're too slow to really retreat, and there's more stalkers coming from Huck. They're getting all these air units, and he should really retreat. These mutas, they should move. Get them out of there. What are you doing? Move them. And where is he going? He's not gonna. He's got a couple of them away, but it was too little, too late, really, from him. Those stalkers doing massive amounts of damage. Those Broodlords, everything. I'm not sure what he was focused on at that point. And he's trying to defend this new expansion he set up from these stalkers, but these Colossus are on this other side, this northern side of this plateau here. These Colossus are gonna come in and do a little bit of damage to this hatchery, it looks like. And boy, Nexlife is in some serious trouble here. All he's got left really is Zerglings, it looks like, and there is charge and more Colossus coming from Huck. Huck has a clear advantage here, and look at this. Look at nice force fields again from Huck, and he gets a ton of Zerglings stuck in this still little like enclave there. And boy, Nexlife is being forced to push with absolutely nothing. Another great force field from Huck. Just like, oh, I see that. No, you're not going to do that. And wow, well played by Huck. He is just everywhere at once right now. There's no stopping this guy. Look at this. He's moving into this third now. He's going to absolutely destroy that. Nexlife has a couple of Corruptors left, only 3. That is not going to be enough to kill this many Colossus. Nexlife looks like he's moving his Overlords out there, and that's it. He is done. So it's a win for Huck, and what a game it was. He really just creative play from Huck, really doing a good job counterattacking and defending for long periods of time of that game, and then just picking the right moment to push out. And Nexlife was all but done, but Nexlife really couldn't figure out how to get past that wall early in the game. And if he had maybe seen a Baneling bust or some sort of early air harass, maybe he would have been able to do something. But Huck, such a creative player, has such good vision of what's going on in the game that it was really difficult for Nexlife to best him. So Huck winning today. This has been Kuzi of the Contraband Esports Network. I hope you have enjoyed this cast, and I will see you guys next time.